Hello, my name is Jay, and welcome back to my Tech Vault. Today we're going to talk about why you should not pre-order these new Nvidia GeForce RTX 20 series cards before they release. Now, there's a lot of different reasons that people are saying this. There's a lot of different YouTubers out there talking about this, and I honestly am just going to try to consolidate this a little bit and also add my own 2 cents into this. So you have at least one central video to watch. I would recommend watching the other people, and of course I'll shout out where I'm getting a little bit of the information from. So, first off, number one. This is assuming that you're watching this video before the initial release on September 20th, 2018 of these new GeForce cards. Now, obviously if you're watching this a year down the road, this doesn't apply to you, and you can click away or you can hear all the speculation that we have. It really doesn't matter. But I will say this, that right now a lot of people are very concerned at some of the stuff that Nvidia has said recently, especially around the releasing of these new cards or talking about these new cards. Number one, UFD Tech has went out and put a bunch of information out saying that number one, we have people that are developing these new games, that they 20 so games that they have released. He actually said that it's not necessarily RTX games like what you think of, ray tracing games. No, they're actually using a combination of AI and ray tracing, and basically the combination or one or the other. So basically you'll have an RTX game that does not do ray tracing that may perform worse than what the current gen of cards. So like, PUBG for example, thought it was a great idea to put advanced AI in there because there's no way they're going to be able to fit ray tracing in that game, how unoptimized it is right now. They're going to put that AI in there, and we've already seen some huge performance hits on the ray tracing part. I really don't know in the sense of what AI can do in the sense of performance. Now, I'm not saying that, these new cards won't perform better. I'm just saying let's see, because there's a lot of, all these games, for example, the ray tracing. 30 FPS at 1080p with ray tracing. Now, there's, graphics settings, there's, drivers that are not released. There's a lot of different things that have not necessarily come out yet, so we're not too concrete on the idea. But just keep in mind, personally me, I would much rather prefer to play at buttery smooth FPS than 30 jittery FPS if it looks really beautiful, but you can't really play your game. The next thing to talk about is just the fact that Nvidia has kind of been deceitful about and, getting around the bush, I guess, is not necessarily honest about their pricing. When you can see a price next to a product, you assume that's the price of the product. Not the case here. In the original PowerPoint by Henson Jang, I'm sorry, I might have slaughtered that a little bit. He basically went through and had all the prices right next to the Founders Edition graphics cards, and that's not how much the Founders Edition graphics card is going to cost. Nope. They never even said that. So they're supposed to be the lowest board partners cost. So if you go down to the board partners with the blower style fans that are not interesting at all, that's what the price you're paying for. Now if you want Founders Edition, that's just another, $50 that you have to pay. So, for me, I see a card next to a price, and I say, that's what it should be. No, that's not what happened here. So, there's a lot of different things surrounding this that are making me concerned, because in the past, I think this is something UFD Tech also pointed out, is that Nvidia had a bunch of cards, I think the 1080 Ti, 1060 Ti, or 1060 all those two Founders Edition cards were at the MSRP, and then the 1070 and 1080 Founders Edition cards were above MSRP. So it wasn't too clear on what exactly the pricing would be for this. So it's really concerning there, and shout out to him for that information. I'm trying to make sure I quote him out, because good YouTubers, there's lots of good YouTubers to be honest. And then Linus Tech Tips, which I'm also shouting names. I should say, no, it's TechLink now, one of his YouTube channels. Basically, they even said don't pre-order. So I mean, just like some games, we really got to see what actually happens, because there's a lot of deceitful things going on right now. Nvidia's really starting to be concerning, and I'm really starting to wonder where AMD is in this. I know we have Intel coming out with some graphics cards, and I think that might be a good idea, because AMD right now is not having a good day in the graphics card market, because it's just nothing is out there right now that's competing with Nvidia bringing the prices down, and so these prices are expensive because so it's starting at $1,000, right, for the 2080 Ti, and the Founders Edition card is gonna be like 1,200. Like it doesn't make sense. So there's a lot of different confusing things, and so I hope that if this video teaches you, or I can get you to learn anything off this video, is that let's just see what the performance is, because this card may end up outperforming it. Yes, we may have beautiful ray tracing, but let's be honest, if you're playing an FPS shooter game, you really don't care about ray tracing, as long as the graphics look fine. Like, I mean, and you don't want to be, I mean, the difference is 30 FPS to 120. That's what I'm talking about here. So, yes, drivers and all that stuff. But let's see what happens first. With the benchmarks come out, then we can talk. Because I feel like I'm not trying to be negative, not trying to be, really hypocritical of Nvidia. I know how much work goes into a product. But when you have all this stuff out there already of, lying and deceitfulness, it's really hard to go through and give a thumbs up on a product when a company has been really blurry about how they're going to describe their product. So, and I can only imagine that would also feed into the actual product itself. But thank you very much for watching. I ask if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and check out my channel for budget computers, budget servers, budget things like that, and computer builds, and then news every once in a while when there's something good to talk about. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.